Welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. Super pumped you're here. Excited. We got a great week planned for you. Middle of March as we count down to not only episode 5,000, but our April launch of Morning Coach 5.0 and the 4 C's that are coming. Got some real surprises here. We've got coaching, content, which is going to be so much fun, consistency, and community. So a lot of really exciting things coming. Check your email as we get going this next couple weeks because I got some surprises coming for you. Super pumped. All right. Well, let's get into it today. We're going to talk about strengths or weaknesses. Let's talk about the whole week here. Today, episode 4903, we're going to talk about should you work on your strength or your weaknesses, or should you work on your weaknesses or strengths? Excited about that. We're going to talk about the book study tomorrow, The Mountain Is You, chapters 2 and 3. I was really reserved on this book, but I'm actually enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with this book, and I think you're going to enjoy it too as we learn some things on moving from self-sabotage to self-mastery, and I was actually pretty impressed with chapter 2 and 3. So we're going to get through that tomorrow. Wednesday, we've got discovering the hidden talent that leads to genius. How do we do that? How do we find that talent? Thursday, ask a JB, of course. We're going to talk about how do I overcome negatives. Exciting news. A couple weeks ago, Nico won his first tournament, third Colombian to win a PGA Tour event after 4 missed cuts. What a wonderful experience. Not only the lot of money that he won, but now he's a PGA Tour winner and a tour member for years and years. It's such an exciting thing for a golfer to win. And I'm going to go over how he overcame some of those negatives to finally, what it means by missing 4 cuts is he didn't even play well in the 4 tournaments leading up to his win. Just awesome stuff. All right. Friday, we're going to talk about continuing the drive outside of finances to fulfillment. That's our fulfillment day and finance day, which is, I love that day. We're going to have fun on that. Saturday, testing systems to find strength and weaknesses. For those of you in the belt system, again, there's some major things happening here, but that white, yellow belt area is where some of those tests are done. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then finally, Sunday, blessings in life. So that's just a great week, right? Of talking about you and building and getting better and working. That's what it's all about. And I'm pumped to be helping you do that this March as we get through this due month. And we're going to talk about kind of a couple things here that we should ask, right? Should you work on your strength or weakness? And obviously, like most things, it depends. It's one of those things where we got to kind of really step back and take a look at what's going on. What is your particular situation and the things that are happening with you? But it really depends on your life. But overall, typically, you should work on your strengths, okay? So there are times to work on weaknesses, and we'll go over that. But typically, you should work on your strengths. So what should you do? You should identify those strengths. Remember what we always say, that skills and talent equal genius. So talent typically is your strength, right? You've got a talent in something, then you add skills to it, and now you are a genius. And, in order to do that, we've got to find those talents. And everybody has talent. I know people always say, oh, I don't know, and we are humbling ourselves. But this is not a time to humble yourself. Right? We want to find those strengths and work on them. It's like the golf game. Obviously, this is big right now because we had a PGA winner in Nico. I absolutely love that. But, you find the things that you're really good at. Maybe you're good at driving the ball. Maybe you're good at hitting irons. Maybe you're good at putting. But you identify that strength and get the best. Be the best you possibly can be at that. And all of a sudden, it'll overtake some of the other areas, just like life, The other thing we need to do is understand the idea of challenging. Mark Twain said, comparing versus challenging. Mark Twain said comparing is the end of joy. So we don't want to compare. Like, we don't want to compare ourselves to other people. What we want to do is challenge ourselves by other people. See those mentors. See people that are doing really wonderful things, and get challenged by that. That's why I share a lot of things I do. Up in the Kajabi group, somebody was saying they quit. And I said, gosh, you know what? I only had 1 sale last month. I've been doing this for years. We've made millions of dollars, 18 years. In fact, if you go over to morningcoach.com, you'll see the new 18-year journey that we've put together. Been at this a long time. Made a lot of money doing it spread over those years, been able to build a great life because of you, and then really support so many people and bring 5.0 up. But it's tough. We put a YouTube video up the other day, 100 views. Like, it happens. Things are going to happen that this stuff gets challenging. And so I always put up there, the things that keeps people going, because I want to keep people going. One of the first things we're going to be doing in the new system, in the new Morning Coach 5.0, is the personal podcasting, which is what I love. It's something that I think everybody can do. Not everybody needs to do it, but it's something that anybody that's looking to personally brand is a really great way to connect. And so I love it, and I'm going to start sharing some really cool stuff in our ILD section in the new site. But it's like, man, these people are giving up, and it's like, don't give up yet. Get excited about what you're doing and understand the idea of resistance. We're going to talk about that later this week, where you self-sabotage a little bit. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too in The Mountain Is You. But the idea then is don't compare. People come up, don't compare your business with my business. I've been doing this 18 years. You can't do that. Compare yourself but use it as a challenge to get to that level and celebrate people that have gotten to higher levels. So again, don't compare. Comparison is the end of joy, right? But challenge by looking at what other people are doing. And then offset weakness by the talent of others. And this is where we talk about outsourcing, which is always a challenge. Like, I'll be honest, I have PTSD when it comes to working with other people. It's always a challenge for me. I have some young people working with me right now who are doing some YouTube stuff that are doing a great job, but it's still a challenge to kind of hand that off. It's a tough thing for me to do. But you got to, and you let those people grow into what they need to do, and that way some of your weaknesses can go away, which is important. So you want to outsource weakness. But why would we want to focus on strength anyways? Because the truth is, mastery is amazing. When we start to master something, it's awesome. So like podcasting, for example, this is a medium that's different. I have a way that I do it different than anybody else. It's easier and simpler than what a lot of people do, and it allows me to reach people, right? And I do it in a different way. And so, one of those things is then now using this podcasting, personal podcasting system is getting that out there, and I'm a master at it. I've been doing it for 18 years, 4,903 episodes, counting down to 5,000, and it's really my money spot. I mean, it's what works for me. Now I'm working on mastering YouTube and cameras. I'm a beginner there. And it's going to take me years and years and years, but it's okay. We've all heard that 10,000 hours thing. But that's what I'm saying. When we focus on a strength and we get excited about a strength and we continue to work on that strength, what happens is we get to mastery. And mastery is awesome. And in fact, with mastery, one thing that comes is what I call the halo effect, or it's not me. I learned this years ago, by the way. I don't like to take credit for anything. I wish I had the source. But there was something I learned years ago called the halo effect. And that is when you're an expert or when you reach mastery in a particular area, people see you as an expert or have mastery in other areas. So here you are as this expert in a particular area, and it's like, okay, then you know more about other things. And it really creates value in the marketplace and creates value for you when you reach levels of mastery. So it's important that we focus on our strengths. And again, we're going to talk about this week, all week, about how to isolate those strengths and make them great and what we're going to work on. And then one of the things I want to bring up is sometimes a weakness can be a strength. And I think this is important to understand that as we're digging into our strengths this week and trying to find what we're going to work on, Saturday we're going to talk about some of the testing, and some of you that have already done your belt system, the COBA, your Enneagram, those are some kind of tests to understand strengths and weaknesses. But for example, for me, writing was a weakness of mine. And it's something that I grew up in, I had that split 3rd and 4th grade class. I was bullied, and for some reason, writing was the thing that really caused me most pain. I think it was because I got bad grades in it, and I didn't have the patience. Like, writing took patience. And it's like all these other things, you had to learn the fundamentals, and like math. If you don't understand how to add and subtract, it's hard to do calculus and trig. Kind of got screwed up in that in my life too. And same thing with kind of English. It's like when you didn't learn the basic grammar, then it really hurts you later in life writing, especially in those English lit classes and English writing classes, grammar classes. It hurt me. And so I always hated writing. I just didn't enjoy it. And I thought it was really hard. And I did some regressive ideas or some regressive coaching with my writing coach at the time. And that's where I talked to you about how I would go down underneath the desk and say, hey, did that 3rd grade, it was okay. And, my writing has gone from a weakness to actually a strength. I used to not even be able to write in forums because I wouldn't like to write in a forum, like my Raider forum when I talk to everybody. I don't even know if I'm a Raider fan anymore, guys, to be honest with you. All the screw-ups they're doing, the way they treated their last quarterback, I don't even know. I'm not watching sports that much anymore. It used to be a big part. I'd always talk about it at the show, and I just have lost interest in a lot of sports. But bottom line is, here, I wouldn't even write in a forum because my writing was weak. Now my writing is a strength. Yes, I use tools like Grammarly that give me a little confidence, some software systems there that help, but it really has become a strength of mine. and it was a weakness, and I keep getting better at it. So sometimes there's some hidden strengths that you will find that are weaknesses that you could start to bring to the forefront that will really serve you. Again, golf is a great example of that. Maybe you're not a great putter at this time, but you start working on it and you get mastery and you become an expert at it. Golf's just like the overall thing of golf. When I started, I couldn't even hit a golf ball. Right now, I have professional golfers that I work with. It's crazy if you think about that. I'm not a master by any means. I'm really bad at golf. In fact, looking at clubs right now and possibly joining one. I'll keep you posted on that. But I'm not a master at it at all. But I've gotten to the place where I can speak the language, and I've turned a weakness, which was really bad golf, into a strength. It's still a game. It's challenging, but it's not something that I'm overly enjoy, but it gets me away from the computer, and it's a part of my life now. It is what it is. I'm going to stop fighting it and just realize that golf is part of my life. But again, the idea for the week is to be looking at our strengths, to accentuate those strengths, to look for mastery. Again, skills and talents equal genius, and find mastery in the things that you can do. Maybe it's leadership, maybe it's business. What can you work on that you can get better at? And then understand your weaknesses. And we don't want to focus too much on weakness unless we have to focus on weakness. I mean, you may be in a job. I remember when my dad got a job years ago in Florida, and they wanted him to work on the computer, and he was used to writing everything by hand, and he just didn't want to use the computer, right? He had wanted nothing to do with the computer. And so it was tough for him because he had to learn a new skill. It was a big weakness for him. Never really learned it, to be honest with you, but he at least gave it a shot. So there's certain things that are weaknesses that you have to work on. Golf is another good example of this. Short game. If you're really bad at it, you can't just focus on driving the ball all the time. If you can't get your short game down, you're never going to score. And that's part of the game. So there are times where weakness is an important thing that we work on, and we've got to look at that and understand that. And this all comes back to the awareness. The main thing is that we continue to focus on growth, and we kind of find the things that work for us, and we work on looking at our plan and growing as an individual. It's who we become, not what we attain. And as we do that, I am growing as a person. Like, there are things that we're bringing to the table that I couldn't have done last year. Heck, some things I couldn't even have done 6 months ago. But now, because my skills are getting better and because I've acquired skill, it's matching some of my talents. It's allowing me to do other things. I'm getting better with the camera and faster and more efficient. I'm getting better at content production, faster and more efficient. These things allow me to do other things and bring you more, which is important. But important, I'm getting better as a person. I'm growing. Drinking is something I've let go of. I've just kind of set that to the side, and I've focused now on personal growth and self-care, and it's been fun. I'm looking at the things why I have self-sabotage, such as drinking, and understanding the depth of that, and as a person growing so that I can make a difference, and realizing that even my health is getting better. My HRV, which was down, which was in the 40s, is now back up to the 60s. And that's an exciting thing, seeing the health get better, seeing life get better, seeing business get better. A lot of fun, right? So we want to work on your strength. Primarily, that's what we want to do. Primarily, it's going to be, okay, if somebody comes to you and says, should you work on your strength and weakness as a coach? Typically, they're going to say you should work on a strength. And I would tell you the same. We want to reach mastery. Mastery is what we're after in particular skills. If we take the 10,000 hours, I think Dr. Kilgore, Dr. Paul did it one time, and he realized he's got 4 or 5 things the rest of his life that he can get really good at, right? Then with the weaknesses, sometimes we could pull one in. It could be a strength. You could find something hidden there. That'll typically come from doing things and doing activities. And then we can add that, right? But we want to focus on strengths primarily and then look at weaknesses that we need. There are certain things that we're going to need in our life. Speed reading, maybe you don't like reading, but reading is an important thing. I mean, the faster you can read, the more information you can take in, right? So certain things are weaknesses maybe for you that you want to add into your life. Maybe my guitar playing really sucks right now because I haven't practiced, but it's on the list to get better. I'm surely not going to be a master. I don't want to say that, but I'm surely not going to be unless I just start dedicating my life to that, and I'm not going to do that. So it is a weakness, but it's a fun weakness, right? So we can have a couple things that we work on, but typically we want to work on our strength. All right, 4 C's are coming. Super pumped about what we're doing. You get out there and have a fantastic day. Hey, by the way, membership is closed right now. We'll be opening it up here soon if you have somebody new that wants to join. But right now we're closed. People can get on our list because we're going to launch Morning Coach 5.0, and I have got some secrets and some sauce and some energy and some love that I'm going to be bringing to you. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get out there, have a great week. Let's get off to a good start, and I'll be back with more right here tomorrow as we get into the book, The Mountain Is You. It's a good one. Let's do it today.